Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to For StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at the other half of the 2v2 that we're posting here. We're going to be looking at the Protoss player's point of view in this 3-gateway Marine Marauder early game push. Now again, in this particular game that we're looking at, we do get cheesed from our opponent, so we're going to see how that looked from the Protoss player's point of view, and we're going to see how to properly respond, how to deal with it, how to help your really cool Terran buddy out, and then how to mount a counterattack. So yeah, again, few key things to note on this map here is those destructible rocks on either side. You really want to take advantage of those as much as possible. This front wall, it's really tough to actually maintain and wall off, and a lot of times it doesn't even make sense at that. Also, taking control of these Zelnaga towers, just like in any map, is really vital. If you can manage to hang on to these Zelnaga towers, unless you get a drop that's eking around the edge of the map, then you're going to see most of what's coming at you. Also scouting early on to see what your opponents are trying to do. In our scouting, we did see that they were going for that early game pressure like they had the game prior, so we were able to properly respond to that and get what was necessary. As a Protoss player here, we did get that fast Stalker, and our Terran bud over there got the fast Marauder to deal with the Reaper and the Zealots. So yeah, taking a look here at the build order, starting out with that pretty basic stuff with the 9 Pylon, followed by the 12 Gateway. I'm going to also be getting an assimilator sometime in the near future. We do want to save up our Chrono Boost as much as possible. There's the assimilator. We do want to save up our Chrono Boost as much as possible so that we can get the Gateway tech research as quick as possible. Now you are safe to use maybe one or two on these probes here, but you definitely don't want to spam this on probe production. Getting out probes faster is great, it helps the economy, but again, the main goal of what we're trying to do here is trying to get that push out really early, and we're going to be able to do that the faster we get up that gateway tech. So that's the goal, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're going to go ahead and implement. Our dropping that Cybernetics core right now, should be coming out with the Stalker shortly. Again, we did move in with some scouts, and we did see this here. We saw a lack of Marine, we saw the tech lab, and we saw something being produced out of the barracks, and we kind of assumed, simply because the last game that we faced them, they did go for that super cheesy Reaper stuff. We kind of assumed that was exactly what was happening, and as you can see, actually, as our scout moved by there, we did see that Reaper as well as that Zealot. So we are fully aware now. Back at our base, we're chrono boosting in a Zealot and then following that up with the Stalker. Also, that Warp Gate research is coming right about now. So now, unfortunately, he's going to be able to cut around the Zealot, trying to pull our probes off the line to stop him from circling around the mineral line and then dropping it back once he decides to retreat. That's definitely a good move on our part there. Trying to get the Stalker out as quickly as possible. As soon as he gets out, obviously going to be able to handle that Reaper at the point. The opposing Protoss player did go ahead and send in the Zealot, but the Zealot's not going to do much with the Stalker kiting him around. Basically, he's trying to chase down our poor little Zealot, but he's not going to catch him. They both run the same speed, so it's kind of funny if you think about it, that all the units in the Protoss army run the same speed. You figure some of them would be more athletic than others, but I suppose that's just not the case. So here we go. We have the Warp Gate research coming up. We're saving up our Chrono Boost, so we're going to start Chrono Boosting this to get it out as quickly as possible. Now, taking a look here at our Terran player's base, Terran buddy's base, you can see that he's getting attacked, so we're going to want to move in the Stalker to help him out. This Zealot and that Reaper can definitely do a lot of damage if we don't assist him. So now, after this point, when we do fend off this early pressure, if you take a look back at their base, that's when they decide to stop that and go for the tech switch. Although he still does have this gateway rallied, I think that was a mistake. I think he doesn't mean that to happen. And then the Terran opponent is coming out with these Marauders as well, dropping another barrack. So he obviously intends to stick with that bio build, not switching into getting a factory for that siege tech. So yeah, I mean, pretty basic stuff. I mean, as you can see, taking a look at their base in comparison to ours, that early game pressure did set them behind in army size and tech. We do have those warp gates coming up right now, and while we may have that same army, what we do have an advantage of him is the tech of those warp gates. He's not even anywhere near getting that. Is going for this early game observer, trying to see what we're doing, what we're going to spawn with. Unfortunately, apparently, if he knew that we were going with that early game hit, that early pressure, in response to that counterattack, they probably wouldn't have made that observer to start out with. Definitely would have been better off if he had made an immortal immediately. So yeah, we do have these 3 warp gates up here. Also coming up with an additional gateway to change that to a 4 gate. Now as we move up with our armory, we're going to be dropping that proxy pylon, always really important. Good thing to do is drop one outside the base to reinforce if you have trouble breaking in. And then once you're inside, go ahead and drop another one. Even that short distance from there to there, for example, warping in that much closer can be really helpful for you. And then, you know, you also have the opportunity, if they kill this pylon, you still have this one back here to warp into. So pushing forward, once this pylon comes up, we are going to go ahead and warp in some more units. Basically, we're just going to keep up our mineral production here, going to keep gathering our resources, and whenever we have the chance, we're going to reinforce as long as this push remains successful, which it does. So we're going to be pushing forward. Here's basically the big battle here, both armies pitted against each other. Unfortunately, those zealots do get caught behind. Kind of want to make sure that they're in front of your army as you move along with them. Otherwise, they become somewhat useless in the very beginning. Moving forward, you're going to be taking out this bunker really quick, taking care of anything inside of it. And then after that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pushing forward to take out these pylons. And once we take out the pylons, that's pretty much the end of the game, stopping all production for this Protoss opponent of ours. And Terran guy over here doesn't really have too much going on either. He's got that one siege tank coming out, but not even researching siege tech, so it's not much of a threat at that point. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the end of the game. So taking a look here back at the build order, what we went with is getting that 9 pylon, following that up with the 12 gateway. Now seeing that early game pressure, after the gateway was done building rather, we did get that cybernetics core, and seeing that early game pressure, we went ahead and got our stalker as quickly as possible to fend off the Reaper and the Zealot, helping your ally as much as necessary. You definitely don't want him to be crippled. If you can send a unit or 2 over, if he gets attacked, you definitely want to help him out as well. So 9 pylon, 12 gateway, cybernetics core. Follow that up with an assimilator. Going to want to saturate that. Second assimilator, getting that up as well. And basically, again, you kind of want to look at getting or making sure you have the amount of warp gates up by the time this is done finished, by the time the warp gate research is done finishing. And in order to ensure that, you want to make sure that any remaining gateways that you're building, you start building by the time the warp gate research is about 3/4 of the way done, and that's going to make it so that they're finished just as the warp gate research is done. So again, guys, this has been for StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. If you guys like our videos here and you like what we're doing, please do go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching and keep owning, guys. Going to be pushing out, making sure both those barracks are rallied to my forces here. And we're going to be pushing out, taking out these back destructible rocks. I do believe they end up seeing this. I remember seeing an overlord observer flying around somewhere. There's the observer. Do they see that? Yeah, they do just end up seeing the tip of that attack. I'm not sure if he's paying attention.